Joe, the center of the entertainment industry this week is not in LA, but in San Diego, as you probably know, for Comic-Con.
I love San Diego.
I love San Diego. What a
San
city.
Diego
what a city.
In this whole country.
What are you about to say?
Obviously, Philly's the best because I'm from Philly and Philly's number one.
Yeah.
San Diego, I get it. Maybe it's not as flashy as some others, but you don't need flash when you just have the best vibes ever.
Yeah.
Great city. Sorry.
Well, no, it is kind of like, why would we take any risks? Like, our default is like top 5 cities in the country
without doing a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. We'll do zoo.
Yeah.
We'll have a really good zoo.
Okay, we'll do best zoo.
We'll do best zoo.
Kind of the only good zoo. Kind of the only zoo you can like morally justify for 8 reasons we won't get into. Like, kind of the best zoo.
We'll do best zoo, and then we'll do just baseline. We're going to be top 5 without even blinking.
Wow. A lot of praise for San Diego.
Comic-Con.
And they have Comic-Con.
I'm sure
where the nerds who run the entertainment industry gather every year to watch some teaser trailers and overreact to them. And in honor of that, I wanted to stage a little Comic-Con of our own here and overreact to some trailers that we've been seeing recently, some new trailers. So we're going to kick it off this week with some trailer hot takes for you.
Let's do it.
So I'm going to hit you with a hot take.
Please.
For a trailer, and then you tell me, am I overreacting, or am I on to something, or am I underreacting to this? Okay. So let's start off with Predator Badlands. I got that white box on my face.
I just got to sit back and judge a take.
Yeah.
I think that's the Predator coming to get you.
Oh, is the Predator coming to get you?
There's a box on Brett's face. The Predator's coming.
The world's deadliest alpha, the podcaster. Get him in your sights. So I'm gonna switch my camera off real quick and turn it back on. That usually fixes it. That usually fixes it. You want to do that?
Sure.
Here, I'll do it. All
right.
Just nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here. Oh, it's just the magic of the movies, baby. It's just the magic of the movies.
I like this.
Is that my back in? All right, there. Look and watch. If this is fixed, that's actually pretty impressive.
If this is fixed, that's incred.
That's pretty impressive. And then let's zoom me in a little bit.
Yeah, zoom me in a smidgy poo.
This is so cool for all the podcast
That was
listeners.
Impressive.
Isn't that impressive? I just fixed that.
That was awesome. We're going to edit it out, but wow, wait, honestly.
I'm not editing that out. It makes me look great. I fixed a pretty significant technical glitch in about 5 seconds. So I just want to put that out there.
It was pretty good.
And what I did was I turned the camera off and I turned it back on.
That usually works.
Yeah. So Predator Badlands, this is the second of this new iteration of Predator movies. The first was Prey. They brought back the Prey director, Dan Trachtenberg. I loved Prey. Prey is so good. I feel like we don't talk about it enough. Like, kind of like one of the best action movies of the 21st century, if you're asking me. So Predator Badlands, a lot of expectations coming into this. This trailer rocks. We got Elle Fanning on board now as some sort of like android sort of figure. The Predator, as you pointed out, is the protagonist now, is the hero of the movie. So based on what I'm seeing on this trailer, Joe, I'm going to say my hot take is Predator Badlands is going to be the best franchise movie of the year. Mark it right now. Best franchise movie of the year. And that is a high bar this year. Here's what it has to clear, okay?
That's what I'm thinking.
Here's what I have. Right now, my top three franchise movies right now are, in order, 28 Years Later.
That was good.
That was very good. Final Destination Bloodlines.
That was fun.
So much fun.
Yeah.
And then Mission Impossible Final Reckoning.
Those are good ones.
I know.
But you think Badlands is gonna clear them all?
It has to be better than 28 Years Later, and I think it will be by a hair, by the slimmest margin. I think it will be. I trust in this franchise. I trust this director. I cannot wait. What do you think?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I don't think 28 Years Later is so ubiquitously like perfect in every way, shape, and form. And you know what it could have used just a gentle dollop of is fun.
Yeah.
And that Badlands trailer, God, that looks fun, Brett.
I know.
God, that looks fun.
I know. I agree. I think maybe because part of the fun of 28 Years Later is it's sort of reckless and chaotic and Danny Boyle energy. Some of those little flaws might become a tad more glaring when compared to Predator Badlands, which I think will be tighter, funner, kind of, I don't know, better. I don't know. We'll find out. That's my take.
I like it. I like it. And I like Elle Fanning.
Elle Fanning looks great
Let's
in
go.
this. Looks great
Good.
in this. When she kills that, like, whatever that thing is, that alien creature, and then she, like, pops into frame and is, like, kind of smiling out of breath, I was like, that's a fun energy.
Great.
That's a fun energy. It's a little nihilistic. It's a little dangerous. All right, next up, Conjuring Last Rites. Conjuring Last Rites. This is supposedly, I don't know, they're kind of framing it as, like, the final Conjuring universe movie. I don't know. There's no way that's true.
Fucking liars.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
they're
the
framing
last.
it as, like, the end of an era, the end of the Conjuring movies, Last Rites. The trailer looks great. It's got a lot of classic Conjuring scares in it. My hot take is nostalgia has done well at the box office this year, namely with Final Destination Bloodlines, but with other movies doing solid as well. Like even, the I Know What You Did Last Summer did well at the box office. We didn't like the movie, but did well at the box office. I think Conjuring Last Rites is hitting the market at the right time. I think this is going to be the biggest opening in Conjuring universe history. The Nun did 53.8 million domestic. That means this movie would have to do over 53 million domestic at the box office. I think it will. That's my hot take. It looks that good.
Respectfully decline agreeing with you, Brett. That is just not how I feel about this at all. There was a third Conjuring movie. It was called like The Conjuring, Before the Devil Gets You or whatever. And I feel like it didn't go right to streaming, but it felt like it might as well have. It was sort of forgotten about. And The Conjuring, the original, is a great one, and like it's had an incredible run. Like we got spin-offs, we have Annabelle, we have Nun, we have lots of Conjuring movies. This is essentially Conjuring 10, not clearing $60 million opening weekend, Brett.
54 basically.
Domestic?
54 domestic.
Brett, it's going to do 25 domestic.
Okay, now that's a fair comment. Except for the simple fact that Final Destination Bloodlines did 51 million domestic earlier this year. So it's not as impossible
I think that
as you would believe.
I think it's not. You're right. I think the folks were starving for a little Final Dest, and I just wonder if we're still starving. And the weird thing about watching the Conjuring movies is like Patrick Wilson's also the guy in the Insidious movies. So this is essentially Conjuring like 20. I've seen Patrick Wilson walking around looking a lot.
That's why I would really lean into the Last Rites thing. Just leak a story that both Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga have terminal diseases, like they're gonna die. This is their last
and they're
movie
banging
ever, and they're having sex.
Have you noticed
leak everything?
Hollywood
leak
is
everything. Deny. I don't know where that came from, but leak.
The whole pretending to be like fucking each other is back stronger than it's been for 20 years.
Yes,
every movie.
Pedro and Vanessa Kirby.
Vanessa. Every weekend,
that
it's like,
one is so funny.
It's
Everyone
like,
got so
Brosnahan and Cornsweat. Like, oh gosh, what's that all about? Like every week, they're
Michael
just
B.
like
Jordan and
Haley Steinfeld. And
I
mean, hey, that one, Bill's Nation. I'm still worried about that one.
Yeah,
but
you can't fake that kind of chemistry.
Yes,
you can. They're great actors.
No, they run this playbook every week.
Yeah.
They're Vanessa Kirby, Patrick. They're not stooping. They're doing an act.
They're not.
It's a good act, but that's pretend.
You know what's funny? Everyone was so like taken aback by them sort of like doing their like petting each other and touching, and it's like I'm kind of like, are we just so online now that you've never encountered people like this in the world?
They're called
like
actors.
Yeah, there's people like this.
Actors just like touch, sit on each other's lap.
Yeah.
They like touch each other's
It's so
mouths.
annoying. They do it all the time.
There's-
It's not rare though.
No, straight, gay, what actors, they just kiss on the lips, just like touch each other's bodies.
Yeah.
They're crazy.
Yes.
They're insane.
Yeah.
And that's what we want.
Yeah. This is very normal though. This is like very normal in certain circles, namely actors like
These
Joe
actors,
said.
they don't get vaccinated and they touch each other. That's just all they do.
Zootopia 2. I saw the Zootopia 2 trailer in theaters this weekend before Fantastic Four, and my big takeaway for the Zootopia 2 trailer is stop chasing the fan culture of your franchise, okay? And I'll explain what I mean, okay? If you're making the movie, that's your job to make the movie. If you're a fan of the movie, your job is to go on Reddit and write fan fiction about all the characters fucking each other, okay? That's your job. Everybody stay in their lane and do their jobs. The problem with Zootopia 2 is when Zootopia 1 came out, one of the big sort of online reactions was, man, all these animals are hot. I want to fuck these animals, right? Ha ha ha. Lots of fun for the internet. Now the Zootopia 2 trailer has come out. They have leaned into this so hard. This trailer has like an erotic sort of rhythm to it. I was like, and there's this, can we see the horse mayor, please? This is like,
Whoa.
this is like such a sophisticated level of eroticism. It's like,
Yeah.
it is like, I like love it.
No, I love
in
it.
general. I would love if
that was the mayor of L.A., I'd be thrilled.
If it's the mayor of L.A. Or if you framed this and put it in the Broad, I would be like, great painting of like postmodern sort of, I don't know. So I'd have a lot. You'd have a lot to think about.
This in a museum, you're saying you would say great painting.
Yes, I would say great painting.
Actually, if I saw that in a museum, I too would say great painting.
That's what thank you.
Okay, you're right.
Thank you, my point. Okay,
yeah.
My point is though, is like, they don't need to be doing all this for Zootopia 2 for the actual movie. This is like what someone like the movie character is just a normal horse in a suit, and then some fan
buffs him up,
gets him
this.
This can't be the movie can't be taking the place of fan fiction. Is what my point. The movie just has to be the movie. Don't chase fan fiction in the franchise. Let the fan fiction be separate, because that's the fun of fan fiction. Because now what are they supposed to do? What are they supposed to do?
Draws cock.
I mean, well, they would do that anyway.
Okay, sorry.
All right,
but I your take is very good, very valid.
Do you get it? Right?
I understand
what
you're
Megan
saying.
did, and Megan totally flopped by doing that, by trying to chase the fan culture.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I'll just say that I think this will make over $60 million in the box office, domestic. I think it'll make close to 100.
Yeah. Are there
Zootopia 2?
Are there that many polycules in America,
dude?
to go out to Zootopia?
People love Zootopia. They love Zootopia. If
Just horny adults, though. What has happened?
Celine Song said in a New York Times interview that if she was stuck on one island and can bring one movie there, she said Zootopia.
Great choice.
And then later she clarified that, like, oh, I didn't know you guys would all take. She was like, I get that Zootopia is not like. It was just like a fun answer.
It was a fun answer.
People were like, she sucks ass at directing. It's like, she was just being charming.
Clearly, the answer is Seven Samurai. Clearly. Let Celine do the fun interview.
She just said she just likes Zootopia.
Let her do the fun interview.
Relax.
All right. Okay, so Zootopia 2, just you make the movie. Don't turn fan fiction into the movies. They need to be in separate lanes, because that's the fun of fan fiction. All right. No Other Choice, the Park Chan-wook movie, which you have as number 1 on your fantasy draft.
Yeah,
right? You picked that. That was your LeBron James pick.
Park Chan-wook just
doesn't miss.
Just get that.
Doesn't miss.
There's no missing.
And you
involved.
had Handmaiden in your top 10 of the 21st century, which is, I think, maybe your best pick, honestly. You had a lot of good picks. I think that's the best one.
I'll stand by that forever.
Now, we finally got a trailer for his new movie, No Other Choice. And my hot take, not so hot, but my hot take is this is the only movie that will appear in both of our top 5s of 2025. We'll do a top 10 at the end of the year, but I'm going to go farther and say top 5. This is the only shared movie we will have in both of our top 5s of 2025 is No Other Choice, because this movie looks fucking phenomenal.
Well, I mean, look, here's what I'm sure of.
Yes.
It will be in both of our top 5s, I bet. If it's good, which we assume it will be, we're both going to flip for it. The trailer looks amazing.
Yes.
And we're both going to have it in our top 5. But you think it's the only one that we're going to come to terms on? What about, like, what about Shrouds? What about, like...
Shrouds will not be in my top 5. It's already out of my top 5.
What about, like, Peter Hewer's Day? See, who knows?
Fuck. Okay, yeah. So here's the other candidates. Peter Hewer's Day for sure.
You already think that you're not going to like Sentimental Value, and I'm going to like Sentimental Value.
That's probably a like 6 to 10 for me. If that, I don't know if that's going to be a 1 to 5 for me.
Okay.
Because I already have the top 5 is already so packed. The one that I think here was what I thought it was riding on is whether or not, because you have a very busy year for the rest of the year. You got a lot going on.
Yeah.
My question was, will he see Caught by the Tides by the end of the year? So if you're able, because I don't know how, I don't know when it's coming out. I don't know when it's coming out on streaming. If you are able to see Caught by the Tides by the end of the year, I think that might be top 5 potential. Yeah. Peter Hewer's Day 2, the new Ira Sachs movie for sure.
Don't forget our last one on the rundown. What if?
No. Okay. All right. So the final trailer I want to talk about is Avatar: Fire and Ash. Avatar: Fire and Ash. The third Avatar movie is coming out this Christmas. Holy shit, we're already seeing trailers for it. Okay. Now, I tried out a hot take last Friday for you and Gabe and was almost laughed out of the building. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay? I remember this one.
And I think it's too hot. Went back and I ran the numbers. It's way too hot. It's too hot. But I have an amended take. That I think is fun because it's actually more viable. Okay. So the first Avatar, both Avatar movies have gone over $2 billion, right? Well over $2 billion. These are 2 of the top 5 highest grossing movies of all time. My hot take is that Avatar: Fire and Ash, the third movie, will not crack 2 billion. It will not crack 2 billion is my new hot take. On Friday, I had suggested it will not crack 1 billion, and then I went and looked at what the first two did internationally, and was like, oh, it's going to crack 1 billion internationally.
Look, the opening weekend,
Yes,
like it's not.
Yeah. I don't think it'll crack 2 though.
I think well, my hot take is that it will crack 2, and do you know why?
Good. Yeah, please tell me.
Because that trailer was pretty sick.
Yeah, it was fine.
You know what? Here, let me speak.
More Avatar
I'm going to
shit.
speak freely.
Yeah, please. Sorry.
I don't care about Avatar shit. I really don't.
You don't.
But let me tell you something.
Yeah.
The Ash people, they have a certain gestalt. They got a something.
Wait, was there different people
They have an
in the
X
trailer?
factor.
They all looked like Avatar
They're
people.
the gray ones with fire on their bodies.
Oh my
It looked cool. They were coming out of huts or something. They're mad about God knows what. Look. This is something that we're going to have to do. We're going to have to see Avatar 3.
Yes.
But you know what? Just like Avatar 1 and just like Avatar 2, I see the trailer and I'm like, okay, Avatar stuff. Here we go. And then the movie kind of stinks. But I like the Ash people. They're cool.
All I saw was just more Avatar
but
stuff.
It looked just
looked the same.
Which is good. Like, it looked good. I was sitting there, I was thinking to myself, all right, this mother effer knows about making computer animated avatars for sure.
That's all he does.
For sure, this guy knows about that. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I'll see it. I can't wait.
This is still a hot take because A, the first two went over 2 billion, no problem. B, there are some people online suggesting this could be the first $3 billion movie in history. That is rich. That's too rich for my blood.
For a third of that, that's tough.
That's too rich for my blood.
Or is it like no? Now Avatar has ubiquitous
well, that's what makes my take
recognition.
still a hot take. That's what makes my take still a hot take, okay? Because people are suggesting it's going to go over 3.
You just have an opinion. I don't know if that's a hot take. It'll make right under $2 billion. Okay.
Because the second one made 25% less than the first one. So if this one makes 25% less than 2, it'll come in right around 1.7, 1.8 million.
He's keeping the little white kid with dreads in there, which is important to remember. So did you put that into your calculus?
I did see that.
You
little
got a good shot.
I saw Jack Black, and I still know what you did last summer.
Yeah.
The white Rasta running around. Well, those are all my trailer hot takes.
Well, that was fun.
That was a little mini Comic-Con for those of you who didn't make it down to San Diego.
That was great.
It's not. It's worse than that.
All
It's like, Doctor Doom's back was in the teaser? Oh my God, Marvel is back. Marvel's back.
I cannot wait to talk about Fantastic Four.
I can't wait either. Should we start this show for real?
Yeah, fucking
Gabe, can you run that theme song, please?
Can you turn the AC on? That'd be...
Well, can we get some AC, some sweet AC?
Sick. It's just... Welcome to Movies, baby. I'm Joe Cilio, a.k.a. the Philly Movie Freak. Here, as always, with my co-host, Brett Boehm, a.k.a. the Georgia Movie Dog.
Go Dogs! We're coming to you live from the San Fernando Valley, baby, the true heart of the entertainment industry. And this weekend, we saw a pretty interesting double feature. Well, I saw a double feature. We saw, you and I saw the new Fantastic Four movie, First Steps, the new Marvel movie. We're going to talk all about that. You better believe it. And then I saw the new Kiyoshi Kurosawa movie, Cloud.
Cannot wait to hear about it, Brett.
Yes, you're going to see it soon. I'm going to give you a little, because I can't give too much away. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Cloud today. I'm going to give my rating on it because I have it on my fantasy team. And then you're going to see Cloud. We'll talk more about Cloud in the coming weeks. But Cloud is a big one, people. I cannot wait to talk to you about Cloud. We've also got a breakdown of movie news. And then in the second half of the show, holy shit, this is for Patreon subscribers only. It is a very special Caught Stealing episode of Weekend at Bergman's, brought to you by Darren Aronofsky's movie Caught Stealing.
How dare you?
Branded episode of Weekend at Bergman's. It is Michael Mann's Thief versus Spielberg and Lucas's Raiders of the Lost Ark. Holy shit, people. You thought Ron versus Empire Strikes Back was big? This is huge. This is huge.
Raiders versus Thief.
Raiders versus Thief.
So you're thinking in your head, Thief? When was the last time you guys watched Thief? When was the last time y'all watched Thief?
I'll give you a little teaser for part 2. I rated both of these movies on Letterboxd last night, and they both got 5 stars
That's
from
correct.
me. They
That's
both got
correct,
5
Brent.
stars from me. So we have to pick one. How are we going to pick between 5-star masterpieces?
This is Ron and Empire.
Yeah.
5
yeah,
stars.
yeah,
These are the good eps, folks.
Yep.
Don't miss out.
Yep,
See you
do
there.
not miss out. Because what happens on Bergman's is we have to tell you which one we like better. We have to be honest. And the one we did not like as much, we never get to watch again for the rest of our lives. Stupid.
But I'll tell you what, Raiders of the Lost Ark, no spoilers, pretty damn good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good at being a movie.
Pretty
So
good
we'll
movie.
see. We'll see who
Pretty
wins.
good.
Yeah.
But for now, let's talk box office, baby. Gabe, show me the money. And by the money, I mean the weekend box office returns. There it is. There it is. No surprise. Fantastic Four: First Steps coming in at first place. The only question was not would it be first, but by how much? How much money would it make? What would it mean for Marvel? Marvel is on this tightrope lately that it's not used to being on, where it used to just be the most bankable operation in Hollywood. Every movie made tons of money. Now they've had some flops, and then they had Deadpool and Wolverine, which is big, but that's kind of on its own island. And then this year they've had soft openings with Captain America: Brave New World and Thunderbolts, neither of which are going to end the year in the box office top 10. Captain America: Brave New World is at 9, Thunderbolts is at 10, and we have so many big movies left to come out. So neither of those will end the year in the top 10. So the question going into Fantastic Four was, can Marvel still open? Can Marvel still open like somewhere close to like they used to open? And the answer is yeah, ish, almost, kind of,
Pretty good.
Look, for 2025, pretty good,
buddy. When you tack on that international cum, you've
Yes.
already made your reported money back.
That's
and
right.
That's nice.
That's right.
That's nice for Marvel.
So they made 118 million domestic, which was above expectations. They were tracking at 100 to 110, so they went over expectations domestic. And then, as Joe said, they did add 100 million international for a total of 218 million worldwide. Now, even though Superman beat them at the domestic box office, this was the big showdown, you know, the new Marvelified DC versus Marvel possibly kind of on its last legs, woozy, it's taking a lot of hits, it's on the ropes. So Superman won in the domestic battle. It beat it out at the domestic box office. But Fantastic Four made 1 million more worldwide, or total, you know, so you could say once you throw in the international, Marvel still got a little edge on DC, the tiniest little edge on DC, because it performs better in the international markets. What do you think, though? Does Marvel have a reason to be confident, or what kind of sigh of relief are they breathing right now? A very short one and then back to work, or a kind of like, okay, everything's fine. What's going on at Marvel headquarters right now, Joe?
Definitely relief, but it will be a hard-earned and short-lived relief, because the only relief comes when Doomsday makes $2 billion.
Yeah.
So this is good news in that this didn't flop. It financially, today's world, for real, in reality, it succeeded financially. And then we're going to talk a lot about movie universe building, but I guess you could say it successfully sets up elements that might suggest to you that this could lead to some sort of a story arc over 8 films.
Right.
Ish.
Because this is the start of a new phase, I believe phase 6, which is going to run through the end of the next 2 Avengers movies. So there's 2 Avengers movies in this phase. It ends with that Secret Wars one. But they're already shooting Doomsday, and apparently they still do not have a finished script on this thing. So I don't know, you know, Marvel can breathe a slight sigh of relief that they're not, you know, that they can still open over 100 million domestic. But man, they really need Doomsday. Like you said, Doomsday is the big one. This buys them time until Doomsday to not freak out. But man, Doomsday's got to hit, and it's got to hit big.
Here's some nice things. Like, they launched a Fantastic Four movie successfully, which other studios haven't really been able to do. I mean, they have kind of, but this is well, that's not true.
No, I mean, look,
they kind of did.
Like 2005's Fantastic Four made 330 million total. It's total run. Rise of Silver Surfer did 301 million
total. Like, and they're still superhero movies.
And the 2015 one bombed 167.
They're still superhero movies. They still brought in money, but like, those aren't Marvel makes $1 billion numbers, and those aren't enough to sustain a series. I think that they brought in, you know, actors that are definitely famous, but you know, they're not. They found, let's call them, like, they're not up and comers, but for Marvel almost, it's like, lower profile
It's like a
actors.
little indie crew. It's almost like a little indie crew.
It's like they called their shots really well. It's like when they discovered Chris Evans, and when they discovered whatever when
Hemsworth,
we met our original cast of the Marvel folks, they weren't who they are today, right?
That's right.
Even Chris Pratt, like people like that, like. So I kind of think they did a good job. I don't know if they cast it well for the movie, but they did a good job picking the people to kind of put into the blend, like them plus Florence Pugh plus Anthony Mackie, like plus Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Like I see it all sort of from a universe build, like kind of coming together. And this movie very conscientiously went back to square one with sort of comic book movies, which I feel like was a tougher watch, but maybe a necessary evil to sort of level the playing field, destroy like the tone of like we've done 1,000 of these and they suck now. It's like no. Let's pretend like we all still care about this for 5 seconds, and let's just like clear the deck and like. These superheroes are going to be just like good, and they're going to help, and that's that. And they're going to be a family, like a good old fashioned family, and that's that. And it's like so from a doing the work of clearing the tremendous deck and entering into completely unknown universe building territory. Here's one funny thing about Feige is like. Oh, this guy sucks. He made universes and franchises a thing, and he sucked all the art out of movies. Bet, fine, fair, whatever. But here he is, movie 31, and it's like, Kev, time to do phase 6. How are you going to do it? And I think that he's experienced. I don't look. We'll talk about it later. I didn't love this movie at all, and I don't know if I 100% believe what I'm saying, that it was the perfect entry into a new phase. But I understand it in a calculated sense. Elements of this movie that would lay a new, cleaner foundation that could get people interested in sort of a new, fresh thing. Do you kind of know what I'm saying?
I totally understand what you're saying, because I'm with you where like the best things I have to say about this movie are going to be in this box office section, not in our review of the movie. Because, spoiler alert, the movie was just boring and mediocre, almost aggressively so. But as a sort of business decision, resetting a franchise, clearing the deck, it did feel like it accomplished Marvel's business goals while not accomplishing the sort of like basic storytelling goals that I would expect in a movie, but it did accomplish, I think, their business goals of like, we got to clear the deck, we got to get back to square one, and it did, and it did so without a lot of hand wringing, like you said. There's no, and I think going to the past, going into the 60s helped this a lot because they didn't have to account for all the lore. They could sort of just ignore all the lore of the MCU, start from scratch, as it were, with this new family, this new dynamic. And so I do think, even though the movie to me was not great, the MCU definitely walks away with a win here. They definitely walk away with a much needed win.
I think so. It is a safe bet of a movie. And I do think one problem might be that, from Iron Man to the Avengers was like phase 1. Well, Iron Man was like a freaking winner. Iron Man was, whatever you think of the movie, like culturally, Iron Man was a freaking yes. And you needed that to launch the whole thing. Yep. I get it. Yep. So you don't need like a shock to the system necessarily so hard when you're doing phase 6.
Right.
You need this more sort of level-headed, cautious, risk-averse retelling, I suppose. But I wonder if we'll look back on our comments today like, see, the problem was they were too soft and boring on Fantastic Four.
That's a great point.
They needed a little more zip. Like, time will tell. I think when it comes to the business of Marvel, that Feige's boring, risk-averse film was the right move almost. I mean, it's never a bad move to make a good movie, though.
Right.
I would have recommended just making it good.
That's why I think they almost were like, that's not an option. We don't know how to do that right now. So we just have to do risk-averse, competent, mediocre, reset the franchise movie.
It's a deep reset,
It's definitely a movie, and we'll talk about this more, but it's a movie that is trying not to fail, not a movie that's trying to succeed. It's a movie that's just trying not to fuck up.
And I wonder if that's experience talking.
Yeah.
I wonder if me's and you's went up to Kevin Feige and were like, good movies bring people, and he's like, guys, good movies. This is Marvel 40, and we need to do some work here for like things well beyond your comprehension. Now, if that's the answer, that's why people hate this studio. If that's truly the answer, then that's why Marvel sucks. They should always be striving with that money and that IP and that reach and that distribution and those stars to make excellent, awesome adventure movies. And if they're not trying for that, they stink.
Yep.
But maybe they were, and they just like had so much studio back and forth. This movie comes out very cautious and careful and safe, and it is to its detriment, but we wonder if it's to Marvel's detriment or success.
But like you said, there's nothing beats a great movie, and I will say they can't do this again. They can't keep playing it this safe.
The next one cannot taste
exactly.
like this.
So you get maybe one of these in order to just reset the franchise, but you have to get interesting again fast.
So fast.
Yeah, so fast. All right. We're going to talk about Fantastic Four more in our review. That was really the only box office news from this week. It was kind of Oh Hi opened a little soft. I don't know. There's not really.
Oh Hi did pretty good.
I mean, for a movie that has no budget,
860 screens over $1 million. Good for you. Oh Hi team. Eddington is up to 8 or 9 million, creeping to 25. Creeping to 25.
Yeah, it won't get
But that's
there.
really it, Brett, for the box office this week.
All right, let's talk about some movie news then, because I've got a couple headlines for you, and I want you to tell me good news, bad news, okay? I'm going to give you the headline, you tell me good news, bad news, and then you tell me why. Number one, the big news of the week, the Paramount deal finally closed, or at least it got FCC approval, which means it'll close any day now. So Paramount sells to Skydance Media. Sherry Redstone gets her big old golden parachute, not that she needed it, and now David Ellison / Larry Ellison, the second richest man in the world, own a major Hollywood studio, Paramount, which owns CBS, Viacom, etc. What do you think? Good news, bad news?
I don't know. Bad news, I guess. Paramount has to be owned by somebody. It's either the Saudis or one of our 5 richest pieces of shit. You know what I mean? Or the Redstones. There wasn't like a group of Kickstarter people with some sort of mission-driven idea here that was trying to buy Paramount. Some piece of shit is going to own it. So I don't like that it's owned by Oracle founder, the Ellisons, because I hate our whole police state media apparatus and data and all. Every time I watch a Paramount show, they're going to check my blood pressure and sell me toilet paper or whatever. I don't like that. I don't like David Ellison coming in to Paramount. I haven't heard one thing that they want to do to the company to help it. Have you heard any good ideas?
They don't approach it like that. Tech doesn't approach acquisitions like that.
And then that's the final piece of bad news is tech in Hollywood. This just brings the AI apocalypse faster, stronger, and sooner. The AI is already a pernicious and disgusting secret in Hollywood. The amount of it already being used, the amount of jobs it's already replacing, and how fast Hollywood is adapting like every other industry, no shade. And the Ellisons are just they're the harbingers of death, and they're going to come in here and continue to techify Hollywood. But Hollywood was asking for it, and they should have made some good Marvel movies or something. I don't know who was coming to it's all bad all over. Trump's the president. Ellison's bad. Redstone's bad. Everyone's bad. I wish we could start Paramount or run Paramount, but they didn't ask us.
Yeah, you're right. There's not a good option here because what are the Redstones? It stays with the Redstones. They're the worst.
They drove it into the ground, or they made it so weird, and it's so all these legacy stations and studios that are sort of so heavy in linear cable advertising, they are distressed assets. This thing is going down. So maybe I guess there's a chance that they do a good job. What do we even think a good job is?
So
Brett?
here's the thing,
is a good job? They make a lot of money.
I don't know.
We're worried about the cultural asset, right? Isn't that sort of our primary concern? Is this cultural asset, which is in charge of the news and our media, and so much of our IP and distribution is now run by nefarious, conservative-leaning technocrats. Is sort of the primary concern here, right?
Yes. So I think why this is especially bad news, because look, you're right that there wasn't a great option for someone with enough money to buy Paramount. It's going to be just a murderer's row of psychopaths. I think this was maybe the worst of the bunch, though, and I'll tell you why. Because at least the Redstones were out of touch, old, hands off, billionaires. Now we have competent, motivated billionaires with a apocalyptic vision for America's future, who are now running one of the 5 major Hollywood studios.
Like I said, bad news.
Bad news.
Yeah, right.
Bad news.
I hear you.
Because what I see happening, because this is the first of the major studios to be owned by Silicon Valley. And I'm not saying that the other ones are owned by mom and pop shops, but there is a difference here.
There's a huge difference.
Because when we're talking about the five, we're talking about Universal, which is owned by Comcast, which is a massive media and telecommunications company operated out of Philadelphia.
Represent.
We are talking about Disney, which owns itself. Disney owns Disney,
which has an incredible diplomatic leadership structure and always has.
Yes.
It's completely unique.
Shockingly transparent.
It's not owned by a family. It's owned by like stockholders, and they like hire different people that aren't from a family. Very weird and interesting.
Yep.
Only Disney has that.
Warner Brothers Discovery, which is sort of being broken up a little bit, but that's the third one, and then Sony, which is owned by
Sony,
Japanese huge media company.
Used to be Columbia.
And then we have Paramount. Those are the five, because Amazon obviously bought MGM, but MGM is just a library. It's not it doesn't have distribution, and so that doesn't make them a major studio. They need to go to Universal or Warner Brothers, whoever, to distribute their movies theatrically. Out of those five major studios that I just listed, Paramount's the only one being owned by Silicon Valley, being owned by tech, American tech. And I think that's a huge problem, because we see what tech's goals are. It is surveillance state. It is friendly with autocracy. It doesn't really care about autocracy. If anything, autocracy helps its ends. Tech has been very friendly with Trump. It is censorship in order to serve its political or keep its political friends happy. And so now that force is owning a major Hollywood studio. I think this is bad news. And I think what's going to happen is, like you said, a huge emphasis on AI. Paramount is about to become the conduit for AI. Yeah. And then what's going to happen is everyone's going to have to keep up with the Joneses, and that's going to accelerate
work
other people's exactly. It's going to accelerate other people's investments in AI, other studios,
because they'll have to compete with Apple and Amazon and now Paramount, which is going to become Oracle streaming.
And I also do think that Paramount is now going to become essentially the Fox News of the five Hollywood studios. It is going to, because they don't give a shit about the content. Like, whatever makes Trump happy, or whatever makes whatever politician they have to please happy, they don't give a shit. They'll censor, they'll do this and that. I mean, Colbert obviously is the big example already out of the gate, but there's going to be a lot more of that, because behind the scenes, despite his little fake bromance with Elon Musk, people say that Larry Ellison is the closest with Trump out of all the tech billionaires. Closer than Zuckerberg, closer than Musk. And it's because he's not some doofus little coding dork who struck big. He's like an old billionaire. Yeah. So like Trump actually likes hanging out with him, which is a bad thing. So Larry Ellison behind the scenes has already moved up into second place as the second richest person on the face of the earth. Just stepped back as CEO from Oracle. And if you think that means he's going off to his beach house, think again. He is now going to see what he can get up to with Paramount, because David Ellison, his son, is the Kendall Roy. He's the fake, I go to the UFC fight and I do what daddy needs me to do. But Larry Ellison's the one that put up all the cash to make this sale actually happen. He's the largest stakeholder in the company now, and so it's his vision that's going to prevail.
And he's the guy that on day 2 of the administration, Trump gave hundreds of millions, $1 billion to for AI infrastructure building and all those things.
Yep.
So bad news.
And all the AI deregulation that Trump is starting to do now is apparently sort of being done with Ellison's blessing, and probably is basically being ghost written by him. And isn't that great when industries get to write their own regulations through the federal government? So this is bad news. We now have I don't know. We now have and I do wonder now if this groundswell of right-wing movies might now find a home, because the only bright spot here is that Paramount doesn't have a lot of great IP relative to the other studios. Mission Impossible is kind of at the end of its run, has to figure out what it's doing next.
Star Trek, RuPaul.
Yeah, like a lot of TV, a lot of TV that they could potentially spin off. They have all the Nickelodeon products if they want to test the kids market, for movies. But that's probably not. They don't give a shit about movie IP. They don't care. Even though this is the studio that gave us Indiana Jones and The Godfather and Rosemary's Baby, they don't give a fuck about the content of the movies. They see AI. They see Oracle also just got a big new ass contract, because I read that Oracle is going to be doing all of Paramount's cloud computing.
The first thing,
right? Yes, it's the first thing that gets done.
Did for Daddy was sign a big fucking thing.
All that fucking matters. All that fucking matters.
Stupid.
So one of the great Hollywood studios is now in the hands of evil tech billionaires.
It's going to be like a bank with a private equity mindset that just runs assets into the ground.
Yep,
and just ugly. Okay, what else?
Oh, okay. Let me.
Anything good? Do you have a good news one?
All right. I think this is good news.
Okay.
You tell me.
All right.
You tell me. This might be, I don't know. This is a funny one coming after that. One battle after another. One of the funnest plot lines to track between now and the end of the year is Warner Brothers' attempts at marketing One Battle After Another. It's honestly going to be one of the funnest.
It costs a ton of money. It has to make like $300 million.
And apparently, the whispers coming out of the test screenings, because Warner Brothers has seen some test screenings of Paul Thomas Anderson's new movie, One Battle After Another. And the normal conversations after a test screening are like, oh, can we spotlight this actor a little bit more? Can we get rid of that subplot? Or can we sort of bring in a new person to do the score, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, no one has anything to say about the movie itself. Their only questions are, how the fuck do we market this thing? Has been all their conversations because they spent so much money on it. And the first idea they had, or one of the ideas they had, is that we just found out last week that One Battle After Another is going to be showing up in Fortnite. PTA characters in Fortnite, the incredibly popular online co-op video game. Do I sound young? Do I understand what I'm talking about? One battle after another. So we're getting like we're getting Leo in the ski cap and the bathrobe with the shotgun in Fortnite. What do you think? Good news, bad news?
Great news.
Yes,
Great news. I don't play Fortnite. I don't have the gall or like the system. I think. Maybe I do, but I don't have the courage to log on and get my head ripped off by a 12-year-old.
You get decimated in 2 seconds by an 8-year-old with a grudge.
This is the thing that movies do now. Like, oh, Sabrina Carpenter's in Fortnite, Seth Rogen from the studios in Fortnite, and now you can play as your favorite pinch-on adjacent character from the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie in Fortnite. I think this is good because we should market art to children.
Come on.
It's art.
Come on.
And now they're like, all we always say for all the art movies are always like, I wish the studio would like put a marketing behind it. It's Well, on bad news, they put their marketing behind it, and now you're in Fortnite. And I hope that the kids turn up for the picture. I think they might, because like we keep saying, every time that ad comes on the screen at the movie theater, everybody afterward goes, oh, fuck, I got to see that. It looks really fucking good. And we all know Gen Z loves going to the movies. I love One Battle After Another being in Fortnite.
I agree.
Good.
I agree.
Peter Hewer's Day next.
Anything that puts butts in seats for One Battle After Another is good news. And and let's get the whole PTA, like all the characters in the PTA world in there. Let's get Barry from Punch Drunk Love. He would just like beat the shit out of people. He wouldn't even have a weapon, except maybe one of those plungers, maybe one of those vanity.
Vicky Krebs from Phantom Thread. You can be her. You can make somebody a big sausage,
poisoning
and, like,
people with mushrooms.
Make a big breakfast.
Daniel Plainview, just like
with a bowling pin.
Yeah. Oh, come on. This is actually a really good idea. This is a really good idea.
It was their idea, and we love it. Good news.
Yeah. All right. I got one more for you, and then we got to talk about these movies we saw. All right. This was, I was like, what? Oh, okay. I feel like there should have been more fanfare or something. We're getting a Spinal Tap 2 sequel in September, and there's like a trailer that just came out, and it's like a full Spinal Tap sequel. When did this happen, and what do you think? Good news, bad news?
Bad news. It's bad news. Not some things you gotta, like, I don't know. It's not like, oh, I don't, for whatever reason, this doesn't sit right with me. Rob Reiner's directing.
Yeah, Rob Reiner's back.
I think that's part of it.
The whole cast is back.
I don't know. It's just, you know when they did like History of the World Part 2 on Hulu?
Exactly.
And it was
right.
like,
That's the comp. I
like it in theory, and then I watch and I'm like, well, you know, we can just have History of the World Part 1. It was fine.
That's the comp.
You know what I mean?
Yep. The trailer is not like,
looks
great.
It's just good the way it is. Like we all like, you know, it's like, well, we made Bill and Ted 5, which people loved or whatever, and it's like, that's great. Every once in a while, we can just remember a thing that we used to like. I don't know. It just doesn't always.
I agree. Because for a couple main reasons. Number one, did you watch the trailer?
No.
Not great. There's a Stormy Daniels joke. So there's going to be a lot of like
Rob Reiner stuff.
Rich old liberal, just like big whiffs. Just a huge whiff. There's going to be a lot of that.
This sounds really nerve-wracking.
The other thing that makes me very nervous is Rob Reiner has had one of the biggest fall-offs in the history of movies as a director. I mean, this guy who could not miss in the 80s and 90s. I mean, listen to this. This is Spinal Tap, Stand By Me, The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, Misery, A Few Good Men. Those are like back to back to back. Yeah. And then just North Shook His Confidence, The American President, fine. Goes to Mississippi, I don't hate. And then he just falls off the face of the earth. Alex and Emma, rumor has it, The Bucket List.
It's so weird.
That LBJ movie, Shock and Awe.
This is a classic, like, He got money and fame
Yeah.
and forgot how to do it.
Even his Albert Brooks documentary was like not great.
Yeah, he just like his 80s run is so spectacular that he just could always work. Maybe he had kids and just gave up on caring or something.
Yeah, he got rich and comfortable, and he was like, I have all the right opinions about the world and lots of money.
But like, how much money could
not really an artistic mindset.
I don't know. I mean, if I read a story where everyone was super duper inspired about Spinal Tap 2 and they had to make it because they were cracking up, okay,
that's it. But
I don't hear that story.
it's like the reunion tour because everybody
needs a
money.
fucking extra 100K. Like, who cares? Like,
that's it.
It'll be fun. We hang out for 3 weeks in Australia.
Yeah,
we all make 150K. It'll be fun.
Yeah,
that sucks. I don't care about that.
Yep. All right, bad news. All right, sorry, lots of bad news this week. Actually, one quick good news before we go.
Yeah.
Megalopolis documentary premiering in Venice. We're going to get the whole behind the scenes, baby.
Is good news.
All right, let's talk about Fantastic Four First Steps. Our review of the movie. We've already talked about what the business side of things. Let's get into the art side of things or lack thereof. Now, the Fantastic Four is such an interesting entity as a film franchise because it is the foundational comic book for Marvel. I mean, this was the first big comic book that broke for Marvel. It's a huge moment in American culture. It was sort of like the beginning of comics as literature, or comics as sort of more than just, something you read and throw away. So the Fantastic Four in the world of comics has been foundational to the Marvel brand since the beginning, but has never been a essential part of the MCU, this massive film franchise that Marvel spawned. Now, a big part of that, of course, is ownership rights. Similar to Spider-Man, they were owned by the Fantastic Four rights were owned by 20th Century Fox up until 2019. They're the ones that made those other 3 Fantastic Four movies that didn't do so well. But then when 20th Century gets acquired by Disney, now in 2019, now they can bring the Fantastic Four into the MCU. But how do we do it? So they started thinking about it in 2020. Of course, there was that little John Krasinski cameo as Reed Richards in one of the Doctor Strange movies. But behind the scenes, they've been working on this. We're going to use a Fantastic Four movie to start a new phase. Right? And they did the Marvel thing. They went through tons of directors, tons of writers until they finally got their team. And now in 2025, we finally get the Fantastic Four movie. First Steps. What a just soft subtitle. What a terrible subtitle. First Steps. And this is the beginning of Phase 6, which will run through the next 2 Avengers movies. Now, this movie, First Steps, was directed by Matt Shakman, who did WandaVision for Marvel previously. From a screenplay by like 8 different people, and it features an ensemble cast including Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, is it Eben or Eben? I've never said his name out loud. Eben Moss-Bachrach from The Bear and other things, from Girls, and then Joseph Quinn from Gladiator 2 and Stranger Things, etc. You also got Julia Garner in here. You got
Galactus.
Ralph Ineson, the great Ralph Ineson is Galactus. Mark Gatiss, Paul Walter Hauser is a little mole man. Natasha Lyonne, I was not expecting to see her. And it
plays the Thing's love interest.
That's right. It's very soft, sort of like they're just feeling each other out.
The love story is they say hi to each other twice on the street. They say hi, he says hi to her once on the street, and then at the end of the movie, he like visits her at work and says hi. Those are the 2 moments.
And the acting note to Natasha Lyonne, as to all the other actors, was, now do not dare do any of the stuff that made you interesting or popular, okay? Just really tone it down, Leone. This movie, as we've been hinting at, let's just get into it. This movie is, as far as I'm concerned, the dictionary definition of mediocrity. This movie is not trying to be great. It's not even trying to be good. It is just desperately trying not to be bad. And this all comes from, Marvel had sort of oversaturated its brand over the last 5 to 6 years, all the TV and streaming and some bad movies. And so when a couple years ago, Iger, the head of Disney, laid down the gauntlet and he said, okay, Marvel, get your act together. We're doing quality, not quantity, okay? Do less movies and make them better. And then Kevin Feige and his team were like, okay, yeah, we got it. Quality over quantity. But now they have to remember what quality is, and they still have not remembered what that is. Now, look, Thunderbolts was great, but that's a very different, that's like quality by borrowing sort of a different style. It was not an on-brand movie for Marvel. So to do quality and on-brand, which is what they're trying here, is something that they have forgotten to do and need to relearn fast, because this movie is just run-of-the-mill. It is very boring. The performances are all very lifeless. It's not really trying to do a whole lot. For the first time in my life, for a Marvel movie, I was like can we get some more lore? Can I at least just like some more like myth making? Like, can we make the Fantastic Four seem important or like bigger or more interesting or more dynamic or something or anything at all? Can I get more about? Can I see it? Can we start with some big fun set piece where they all do something?
You didn't like the 20-minute rehash of where we are today? There's a big long monologue explaining to you what they do and stuff.
There was so many points in this movie where I just checked out because it was so lifeless.
It's a big long
We got a
monologue.
little montage of them going to space, but nothing embedded in the bones of the movie that made them seem sort of mythical or big or interesting or anything. Like everything was just like, don't fuck up was the note. Don't fuck up. Let's do it again and just less. Just to be safe, let's do it down a little bit. Let's do it less. That feels like the whole movie was like another take and just a little less, a little less, a little less. There, that's it right there. That's it right there. Perfect. That's what I needed. I mean, what do you think? Am I wrong?
No.
Okay.
No.
What do you think about First Steps?
I really don't get what people keep coming back for to these movies.
Yeah.
I really don't get what people keep coming back for. This movie was just like the AC blowing on me. What was this movie like? Well, it was dark in the room and the AC was blowing on me. I didn't understand why this was so lifeless.
Yeah.
Because there's instances of life in just the smallest little pockets. And here's some. Paul Walter Hauser was funny.
Walter Hauser, yeah.
Paul Walter Hauser was funny. Plays Mole Man, and his character suggests that like this world might be fun.
Yeah.
But that's not really important or true. He suggests like this world is full of kooky villains and they're fun, but don't worry about them. We're gonna do the big boring ones. Okay, but let's talk about the bad guy. Then another thing I liked was Silver Surfer. Julia Gardner is Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer is just Julia Gardner, silver on a surfboard, and she talks really weird. And you know what? Good bad guy. And then she's tied to Galactus, which is this humongous, big, scary planet eater in space. And he's coming to eat Earth is the plan. And Silver Surfer is the harbinger of his arrival. I like that.
Yeah. And Galactus was big.
Galactus was big. He was
very big.
Very big. They go to space to visit Galactus to say, please don't eat Earth, Mr. Galactus. And like Galactus is huge, and that's good. But he's not a risk. Like he's not, like I know they're not going to do this, but like, in Nope, like the alien is a risk.
Yeah.
Or in like Speed Racer, how the color palette is a risk.
Yes.
Why wasn't Galactus like magical in any other element than size and scale? Otherwise, he's completely dark and drab and covered in mist and shadow. Like Thanos had more going on his rock in the space.
Yeah.
And I think it just speaks to like, it's not like Galactus was bad. Galactus was my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
He was really big. And when he comes to Earth, he has a big Galactus mask on and he stomps through the streets like Godzilla.
And Ralph Ineson has the best voice, and it's all...
And that's all fine.
Yeah,
it's all fine, but it's not like creative or interesting. And it was like, it's like it's kind of like the most creative, fun thing. A Silver Surfer on a surfboard, like for surfing, surfs into the world, and she's like, I'm coming to get you with my big planet eater. And
great at surfing, like X Games level good at surfing.
She's so good at surfing.
She's so good at surfing. I
don't know. Okay, then let's talk about the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So then this is just like a big pile of I don't know. And let's just start right at the top with Pedro. Everyone's talking about it. Summer of Pedro. We're all getting inundated with Pedro. We all like Pedro. And
we're all rooting
for Pedro.
Yeah.
And everybody keeps saying, oh, but Pedro hasn't got the part yet to really shine. Or whatever.
Well, here's a bunch of parts this summer.
Here's a bunch of parts. Okay, so like
Eddington, Materialists, Fantastic Four. I feel like I'm missing one.
You think you are too?
I mean, Last of Us.
It'll pop up in our heads.
But there's another movie. I think. Go ahead.
Okay, like let me just do a quick Pedro rundown.
Yeah.
Fun in 3 episodes of Game of Thrones a decade and a half ago.
So good.
Love him, Oberon. Love it. Love that. Then Pedro, I'll say it, was really fun and good in Wonder Woman 84.
Nice.
He was okay. In Wonder Woman 84, a bad movie, he is good because he is bringing personality in so much of it. And he's being big and he's being crazy and he's being comic booky and he's taking big swings and he's having fun and he's the best part of the movie. Ever since that performance, Pedro has not come out of his shell. He's literally the Mandalorian, a character that he does not talk, does not have his voice, does not have his face, and walks around in a mask. He is the fucking Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal. And I want him to reveal himself to us, and he refuses to. In Materialists, it's not that he doesn't play his part well. He does. I believe him. He's sexy and wealthy and enticing and, methodical or whatever. But he could stand to be a little poppier and punchier in that film, I believe.
Yeah, why are we
a little bit more romantic?
Why are we putting Pedro in a straitjacket? Why is Hollywood putting him in a straitjacket? I don't get it.
So
and Fantastic Four is the ultimate example of that.
Kind of straitjacket in Materialists. Then what was the other movie we saw him in?
Well, Eddington is the one where he's showing flashes of what he could be.
And Eddington
but
is so
the movie
funny.
doesn't quite let him get there.
The movie has other things in store for his character, but Pedro is funny in that character. But it's pretty straightforward 3 scenes.
Yes, it's not a big
where
role.
his job is to be controlled.
Yeah,
and that's what he does. And then Reed Richards. So now he's like a spaceman in a comic book movie, and theoretically he's going to lead the Avengers. So I need Robert Downey Jr. level charisma to lead the Avengers in Phase 6.
And he's like the greatest scientist that's ever lived.
He's the smartest guy who ever lived, and he can stretch all his body parts like a big rubber band, as big as he wants or whatever. He's world famous, and he lives in a giant tower with 4 on it, and he is boring as fuck, and not the kind of boring that it's interesting, like he's fumbling over himself, like Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man. It's like there's a nerd who's super smart and is like a comic book character, right? This is it's like Matthew Broderick on Xanax. It's like this
off Xanax.
Oh, right? No, it's like this really flat. And I kept waiting for him to break out of his shell. He's so small in this movie and not charming.
Yeah.
It's like you can be small and nerdy, but you have to be charming. It's sort of like he was Cillian Murphy in Oppenheimer plus Matthew Broderick in The Producers. And that's not what I would pick for the lead of my superhero franchise. And this wasn't the kind of movie where it was even laying it on thick, where it's well, despite Reed being a asocial loser, he really succeeded. It's no, he's just an asocial loser, and he succeeded.
Yeah. It almost feels
so bizarre.
It's so bizarre. I almost sniff some sort of old-fashioned Hollywood conspiracy, because when they used to Hollywood studios used to intentionally sabotage careers like Bette Davis or wherever, because they didn't want the stars to get too big, because they didn't want to pay them a whole lot, so they would intentionally sabotage stars' careers to keep them here instead of here. This almost feels like some intentional sort of let's bring Pedro's getting let's bring him down. We're going to give him a lot of roles, but none of them are really going to highlight what he's good at, and they're collectively going to sort of dampen this whole Pedro fervor that everyone is feeling. It almost feels like some intentional industry-wide decision,
but
I know it's not.
I'm afraid it's not.
That's how weird it is.
I'm afraid they needed him to really fucking kill it, and I wonder if they were disappointed that he really did not, or if they're really happy with his performance.
This feels like studio notes. I don't think this is coming from. I don't think this is what he came up with on his own.
As an actor, at a certain point, you have to protect yourself.
It's your career. It's your career.
At a certain point, they can note you to death, but you can still have magic in your fucking eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can still give yourself intention that is interesting. You can still be good at acting in their small little boxes. He doesn't really do that in this at all. He brings nothing to the table, and I kind of blame Pedro, and I don't want to hear any excuses for studio interference. He's in every scene of this movie. He's supposed to be the main character of Avengers Part 6, and he's supposed to be the lead character of this superhero movie that's fucking 2 hours long. So basically, it's I just kind of needed more.
It's like a sheepish performance. It's like a fearful performance.
2 years ago, we watched Raiders of the Lost Ark this week. 2 years ago, I would have said, "Oh, Pedro as the new Indiana Jones. Let's get him on the short list." That makes a lot of sense, because I bet he's going to be charismatic and fun and zippy. I can't remember Pedro being charismatic and fun and zippy. He's drab, dour, and small. I don't like his performances anymore. Pedro, I need you to go back to Wonder Woman 84 style and give me some oomph. See, the problem is he had oomph in 84, and then he opened that scene of that Joel Coen movie, Drive Away Dolls. Do you remember that opening scene?
I haven't seen that movie yet.
In the opening scene of Drive Away Dolls, Pedro does Pedro does like a little like kooky, farcical bit that's sort of tonally at odds with other parts of it, and he's so extra and he's being so silly. It's like between Wonder Woman 84 and Drive Away Dolls, something happened to him where like he forgot how to be funny and charming. He became instantly annoying. He became instantly like overseen, you know, and he instantly stopped taking risks in all of his choices on set or something. I'm not blaming Drive Away Dolls. I'm just wondering what happened to Pedro. He's been working overtime. Maybe he's fucking tired.
Yeah,
he's Mandalorian.
He seems tired. He
seems fucking tired.
He seems tired.
Pedro, like, okay, so then his off-screen persona, like, we talked about how he's touching Vanessa Kirby a lot, and people are like,
right.
Oh, Pedro gets anxiety, and then he touches people that aren't his wife or whatever. Like, let's pretend that that's true or not true. Doesn't matter. If I was Pedro and his team, I'd be like, hey, what else do we got in our bag of like things to make people know about Pedro?
Yes.
It's like Joe Biden got ice cream. Like, can we get Pedro to get some fucking ice cream or something? Well, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
that's why.
Let's find a new thing.
He is not meeting this moment. I'll put it that way. I agree with you. He's not meeting this moment.
He's kind of not, if we're being honest.
He's
and
not
we all want to be
moment,
nice to him because he seems nice, but like he's not meeting it.
I still do want to put some credit for this on his team. Publicists, agents, they have to set you up for success, and right now they are not setting him up for success. We need a counter narrative to like nobody wins from this. Like, is Pedro touching Vanessa Kirby too much?
Yeah,
thing.
what is this?
It's
Change
weird.
the
Can we just like
fucking
not?
move on.
No. We need another storyline for
like,
Pedro.
You know, like Henry Cavill loves Warhammer.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, okay, Pedro loves baseball, and now we're gonna take him to the Mariners game, and he's gonna like sit up there for the seventh
inning.
He's
gonna do the smile two face behind the camera. It's like that's not the movie you're in, Pedro.
Like,
that's
Pedro,
fun. Now
like,
we've switched the narrative.
Is he funny? Is he hot? Is he good at acting? What is his thing?
He went from being like a just slam dunk, no questions asked, charismatic movie personality to this like muddled presence that we don't know what to do with.
And I blame Reed Richards for this because Eddington, super funny and good, like whatever, he nailed it. Materialist, like good, weird movie, like okay, whatever. Now, but with this, it's officially like, oh, like Pedro's. We need Pedro to get some sleep because he is tired.
Let Pedro sleep.
He needs a vacation before Fantastic Five. Like he really does, because the man he forgot how to like be all like. We watch Raiders of the Lost Ark. Harrison Ford is he Peter O'Toole? Like, no, but he has charisma and movie star energy for days.
Yep.
Days. He's not Laurence Olivier. He's not, Paul Robeson. I get that.
And to be fair, he looks exhausted in Raiders of the Lost Ark, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
A fucking frame of Raiders where Harrison Ford isn't a movie star.
Yeah.
And Pedro, I'm afraid that you, my friend, might be a TV star.
Well, we might have. It just might be the classic thing of like character actor that they try to bump up to marquee, and it's just not really his bag. Could be what's happening here.
This is your big platform. This is your host in the Oscars, and you didn't do a good job.
In the chat, thank you. They said he was in Freaky Tales as well this year.
Was he fun and kooky, or was it good?
See, here's the thing about Freaky Tales is it's very hit or miss. It's like an anthology thing, and some of it works, some doesn't. The whole movie is like goofy and campy and silly, though. It's very Repo Man inspired. He doesn't even sort of let loose in Freaky Tales. He plays it very close to the vest, and I think that's kind of what they wanted. He has sort of like a noir-y sort of like plot line, but it's just like another like the performance like didn't really register anywhere. It's almost like
it should be better. Like, I don't know. This performance pissed me off. There's lots of meek, demure nerds that are fucking cool and or fucking interesting behind their eyes.
Yeah.
How about like Nucky Thompson in Boardwalk Empire? Steve Buscemi plays him so flat, so straightforward at first, but never for 1 minute completely and totally uninteresting. Something's going on there. Anyway, I didn't love this. Can I keep going? Because I got more. Now Vanessa Kirby.
One of the best actors of her generation.
Vanessa Kirby, charismatic. In Hobbs and Shaw, what's her deal? She's fun and cool and hot and loud.
Mysterious.
And then what's she in Mission Impossible? Oh, she's fun and cool and hot and weird and all that. That's all she does. She comes in, she's poppy, she can do action, she can kick butt, she can like do lines, she can be funny, she can be charming. She's so fucking that. So what does Fantastic Four ask of her? Nothing. Can you take away everything people like and know about you and just fucking shelve it and do this like pretty rote ass fucking thing, like for the most boring character in the world.
Almost like sexist with how rote it is.
Yeah, I know.
Almost to the point where I'm like, really?
Well, the whole movie flirts
you can't do
with
anything more than that.
Our political moment, like the first steps, like there does real quick without being heavy-handed.
Yeah,
there's a lot of like, let's reset the clock, and by that I mean heterosexual families. Like a lot of that. Heterosexual
There's a lot of
families
nuclear
have
family
concerns.
Like,
just like that's what the whole Marvel Phase 6 is going to be about, and it's just worth noting. So anyway, Vanessa Kirby, lifeless. Then the poor guy from The Bear, who has to play
Even Moss Bacharach.
Even Moss Bacharach. I feel bad for the guy because like
he's a big rock man.
They make the thing like interested in cooking.
Yeah.
So the whole idea while you're watching it is like
the guy from The Bear.
Like, the whole idea is like the guy in The Bear. And I've never seen The Bear, but I imagine that he like enjoys.
He
cooking
does bear line reads. He's tasting the sauce and being like, "That's what I'm talking about."
It's so. I almost stood up and like left the movie theater. It was so embarrassing for everybody involved. And then Joseph Quinn he plays the Johnny Flame. He's fine.
He honestly was the only one where I was like, he's trying, but nothing's happening because there's nothing there.
The script buries him.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
The whole joke is that the whole joke forever, way too long, is that like he thinks that the Silver Surfer and he have some energy like sexually together.
Guys,
but they play this
bad.
joke like the whole movie. It's so weird and small.
You know what the other thing is he doesn't want to say it's clobbering time because that's from the cartoon. And they keep saying, say the line,
say the line.
So they're doing like the softest version of that Galaxy Quest joke.
They do it every
Alan Rickman Galaxy Quest joke. And it's like at this point, Marvel should have a fucking bathroom reader of all their jokes that they reuse 100 times.
And the
where it's like, hey, let's do number 48 this movie, and 48. Let's do number 2 out of 5. Let's do 2 where like he doesn't want to say the line, and it'll be like sort of meta. And it's like it's nothing. It's not meta. It's not interesting. Give the thing like how about the fact that he is like. How's he dealing with being a giant rock man after he was a human?
Brett, it's no problem. He's getting more chicks than he ever has in his life.
Okay.
Literally, Natasha Lyonne's into him.
There's nothing psychologically here that might be interesting to do.
No.
Okay, cool.
Also, he found like a tailor or something that is insanely talented.
Actually, he's a big tailor is the best part of Fantastic Four.
But the thing is always just like looking very put
Whoever's
together.
doing the Thing's bespoke suits is on fire.
The Thing, I would happily take fashion advice from the Thing. He looks so sharp.
Now, speaking of production design, last thing I want to say for me about this movie is, so one of its big things is it's doing this like early 60s retro futurist like design, right? And it just points to the sort of emptiness of certain kinds of like nostalgia or emptiness of certain kinds of like vintage aesthetics, because we're so obsessed with this now. Freaky Tales had like a vintage sort of 80s aesthetic, right? So many movies are looking to do like a vintage aesthetic, but the problem is, because look, as far as I could tell, they kind of nailed it for like a Marvel movie. This is like it looks like retrofuturism, it looks like early 60s, it looks like Pan Am planes and all that kind of stuff.
Sucks.
But the problem is, then you just have that aesthetic for the whole movie, and it's like, yeah, this is an old, boring aesthetic that that looks very dated, and it's the kind of aesthetic. And look, if you're a big retrofuturist fan, I'm sorry, I'm sure you're having a ball in this movie, but it's the kind of aesthetic for me where like for 2 or 3 minutes it's charming, and then it's just like way too much of an old aesthetic for 2 hours.
It's so grating.
Yeah,
and the aesthetic choices suggest all the things we talk about politically, like a simpler time, a better time.
There is a weird MAGA underpinning to this movie.
Is.
It's like, you know what it is? It's like liberal MAGA. It's like New York in the early 60s was a fun sort of like utopia, right?
Anyway, I thought this movie was sort of just baffling. Apparently, the Fantastic Four apparently is just a nut Hollywood can't crack. Except in the Invincibles is the Fantastic Four, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, the Pixar movie. That's like
The Incredibles.
Oh, The Incredibles. Sorry. Yeah, that's good. Fantastic Four, but otherwise, people aren't.
I'll
really
leave it to Brad Bird, a true artist.
People aren't good at this, I guess. Or
all right,
something.
So stars. What do you give this thing?
Give it a star 1.5 stars. I think this was very bad.
Very bad on our rating
By
system.
the time I was on the escalator leaving the movie theater, I had trouble mentally piecing together sort of what happened in the movie because it was.
Oh, dude,
I was
I've never seen a $200 million movie go in one ear and out the other faster than
okay,
this
the set
movie.
pieces. Okay, they were in space just like last week on Superman, and then they were doing like a chase, and then they get back to New York, and then Galactus comes. Like, what happens in the movie? It's just like a drab little boring little.
I was literally
movie.
like, knowing I was gonna have to talk about it today. Yesterday I was like, fuck, do I have to go see this movie again? I cannot remember anything. And then I sat down and was like able to like remember,
then I read the
piece it
plot,
down.
and I
Yeah,
was like,
exactly.
oh,
But I was like,
right,
oh,
I saw this
right.
movie already.
This movie goes through you like this.
It really does. Dude,
almost intentionally.
It's the air conditioner, man. This is like watching an air conditioner run for 2 hours.
Yep.
It is fine.
I'm going to give it 2.5 stars for, which means it was all right. But I want to be very clear. I am like, this is like a damning 2.5 stars. This is a 2.5 stars to memorialize how aggressively mediocre this movie is. This movie wants to be mediocre. It does not want to do anything wrong, which is not the makings of anything interesting ever. It just wants to play it safe, reset Marvel. Can we please let this money train keep rolling? Please, please, please let the money train keep rolling. Is all this movie is begging you, please just go out and say Marvel's back and the movie's good. Please, 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 please. And for that, I'm giving it a damning. This is 2.5 stars on your tombstone, Fantastic Four. Okay, 2.5 stars because you didn't try, and you also didn't fail because you didn't try. So it's just right in the middle. All right, 2.5 stars.
It's a mean 2.5.
Yeah, it's a mean. I want to be.
It's 2.5, but like you're shading them.
Yes.
Right.
Well, I told you we're ranking. You can go on our Letterboxd and see our in real time rankings of every movie we've seen this year. I had this under some movies that I gave 2 stars, which is why that's how damning of a 2.5 it is.
Did you like it more or less than Superman?
I liked it. Oh, I liked it less than Superman. Yeah, I liked Superman better. Superman at least had some personality to it. You know, I mean, which is like the bar at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess you're right.
Yeah, it had that one great scene between Clark and Lois.
It had one. All right, yes, it's one good scene outweighs the family dynamic. Like,
oh, guys,
it's like any of the writing team ever like been in a family before?
Yeah.
Do you guys know what fucking family is? I don't understand. So family to you is what? Like people that eat dinner together and are just like generally sort of like rib on each other nicely sometimes, and they protect each other. Like why? I guys, I can't. Brett, move on. Moving on.
All right,
moving on.
Let's talk about a good movie. I'm going to keep this tight because you have not seen this yet. So I'm gonna tease you. I'm gonna give you a little teaser trailer for Cloud, the new movie written and directed by the great Kiyoshi Kurosawa, who's responsible for some of the best just horror movies of the last 20 to 50 years. Whacked out movies. I'm talking Cure. I'm talking Pulse. Last year's NFT movie Chime, which was amazing. One of your
one of my faves.
Yeah, one of your faves.
Love that movie.
I loved it as well. Kiyoshi Kurosawa is back here with Cloud, feature-length movie. It is about a guy who is working a sort of dead-end factory job, but in his own time, he is getting some traction as an online reseller. So he finds like companies that are going out of business in Tokyo, buys up their wholesale cheap. He's like a really aggressive negotiator, and so he drives the prices way down to the point where people are like, you fucking bastard. All right, fine. He buys the shit so cheap, and then he resells it really high, but saying that it's still a discount. And so that's the game he's playing, and he's starting to get very good at it. He's getting good at enough at it that he can quit his factory job. He can buy a new house out in the country for him and his partner, and so they're living a very nice, idyllic life, and it seems like everything's going well.
It seems like everything's
fine.
There's nothing scary
well
happening at all.
Oh,
this is all good, right?
But then all of the people who have got, because he also sells, like, he'll buy like knockoff luxury goods and sell them as luxury items online.
So he's a
scammer. He's a scammer.
He's
He's basically like a new, like a 2025 scammer. They're all over the place. The internet's full of them. But then via this message board, several of the people he's fucked over or who think he's fucked them over start to sort of gang up and find each other online. And then he has basically this group of people who are mad at him who are coming after him. And that is the premise of Cloud. This movie is incredible. Whoa. See it the first chance that you get. Kiyoshi Kurosawa is back. He never left. He is so freaking good at what he does. This is easily one of the best movies of the year for me right now. I have it as my fourth favorite movie of the year right now.
I gotta go.
It has that killer Kiyoshi Kurosawa pacing where part of the movie is almost slow cinema in the way that you're just seeing somebody at work, you're seeing someone do their job, but there's still, it's never slow cinema because there's just such an insane tension under the, and you don't know why, you don't know where it's coming from, but there's this tension under the surface. And then he will hit you out of nowhere with these sequences that are quick and fast, but are some of the best horror that you've ever experienced. Terrifying little sequences. And out of nowhere, and weird fears that you didn't even know you had. Like, there's like this one shot I'll tell you about where he's on the bus and he's showing his girlfriend like where the new house is that he bought out in the country, and it's just fine. It's just a conversation on the bus, and then out of nowhere he cuts the sound out, and you're like, what the fuck? And then this like shadowy presence, not even like of human form, some shadowy presence behind him gets up and moves off the bus, and then he suddenly has this like terrified like sense, like something like almost like a draft or something, and he's like, what? And you're like, what was that? A person? Do they know where he lives? Who was that? Like, what the fuck is happening?
That's so
and
him.
Then just back to normal. That's
so him.
That's
I'm
just one
scared.
example. You get several like that throughout the movie.
I love that.
This movie also felt a lot like an old noir to me. It felt a lot like a movie like Detour, where you were getting
deep
like
cut, man.
Exactly.
Look
So
at this
someone,
guy.
right. Where in the sense that of someone who is like, they're definitely not good. He's an asshole, but he's not the worst person that's ever lived. He's just at the end of the day trying to survive and make a buck and blah blah blah. He's just playing the game of late stage capitalism. But he's a guy that has made enough bad, has done enough bad that the movie is gonna like bring all fucking hellfire down upon him, you know. And it's just like, and it gets to a point where it's like one bad thing after another into hell. There's a lot of like hell talk in this movie, which I like a lot, which is very appropriate. As though the whole movie is sort
this
of
sounds so
yes,
good.
a descent
If this
into a
was
specific type of
this
hell.
should be the trailer. This should put you on TV
Right?
for
Just
like a
put me-
minute.
dude,
Just this, be like, look, Cloud's
put
really
butts
good.
in
You should
seats.
go.
I'll
Okay,
put butts in
there's this one
seats.
part on the bus, and it's like the scary ghost comes out behind him. Scary as shit. You guys got to see this. I'd be like, okay, now what's this movie? That sounds good.
It's also funny, you know. Kurosawa's always funny.
yeah.
It's also funny in its way. Like I don't want to give anything.
What's your
else
stars?
away.
What's your
I don't
stars?
give
Wait.
this away. Okay.
You
So
said fourth best movie must be
yes,
pretty good.
I give it 4.5 stars. I think this is a gem, baby. I don't give 4.5 stars out lightly. This is 4.5 star gem. One of the best movies of the year. Go see Cloud as soon as you can. It's in New York and LA right freaking now. Okay, go see it. Go see it. And I will say the last thing I'll say about Cloud is there is. Like you start to get into the movie, you start to get into some of the action, and you're just like in it. But you do have this thought in the back of your mind, like, is this gonna like amount to like what is this going to amount to at the end? Like you're getting into the plot, and you're like, but what is really going on here? Is it going to have that final gut punch? Is it going to have that final payoff moment? Oh, dude. Okay. There's a final dialogue that kind of ends the movie. It knocked the fucking wind out of me, dude. It has such a punch in store for you. And then you're like, oh, I get okay.
Final dialogue
is
like, it's like in golf. Like if you're good at putting, like you can save yourself so much trouble.
Yes.
Like if you can nail the
Yes.
last 3 lines,
Yep.
like Eyes Wide Shut, like,
Lives of Others.
We gotta fuck or whatever that line. It's like,
Yeah.
or There Will Be Blood. I'm finished. Like your last line, the last little dialogue can take you from like a 4 to a 5 faster than anything.
They should use it in marketing as opposed because when they'll be like, "There's a big twist." If they just start saying, "There's an amazing final line,"
no, at the end they turn to each other and you're going to want to
say
hear
something that's going to blow
want to
your
hear what they
mind.
say to each other.
I'm coming to that movie every time.
It changes the whole movie.
And Cloud is one of those movies.
All right,
4.5 stars. I do have it on my fantasy team. We'll wait till you'll see it to do the final score.
I'll see it ASAP. I'll see it ASAP. Sorry, folks.
Hey, no sweat. You do have to drive to the New Art, which is a fucking trek.
It became a thing.
It's a whole thing to get over to the west side to see this movie, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Do not go on a weekday. You will not get back on the highway for 40 minutes.
Okay.
And it's only 2 blocks.
All right.
But weekend was not a bad drive. All right. Next, and the chat's asking, where is this showing? You can check for local theaters. I think it's just New York and LA right now. I don't know where it is in New York. In LA, it's at the New Art.
It might be a little bit more expanded outside of that.
I hope it does.
I saw that there's other theaters too. So check it out.
Sweet. Okay, see this movie ASAP. Next week on the show, we have a comedy week, baby.
Yeah.
Long overdue. Let's laugh next week. So The Naked Gun is coming out. This is the big reboot. The trailers have all looked very funny. We got Akiva Schaffer from The Lonely Island directing it.
Yes.
Liam Neeson looks like he's locked into his Leslie Nielsen. Man, that's too close. Leslie Nielsen to
I
Liam
bet they
Neeson.
make a little something of it.
I'm sure they do. So I cannot wait to see the Naked Gun reboot in theaters
I can't wait
next
either.
weekend. And then it's already out, but we're going to talk about it next week for Comedy Week. Happy Gilmore 2. What a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, then thank God we're doing this for the show, because this will be watched with or without the show.
Yeah.
I'm watching Happy Gilmore 2, folks, obviously.
I got so excited for Happy Gilmore 2 when I saw someone showed, have you seen like what Benny Safdie looks like in the movie? He's just doing another like curse character, right? So, but they showed, like, somebody on Twitter was so mad. They showed his picture and they were like, "This was the worst character in Happy Gilmore 2." And then they went on to describe the character, and I was like, "This is the
That's going to
funniest
be our
shit I've
favorite
ever
part.
heard."
We're going to love that part. All right,
They're
can't
like,
wait.
"He's too slimy and gross." I was like, "You're speaking my language. Why are you like? Is this some sort of psyop to get me to watch the movie?"
Watch the movie first, and then
Yeah, I'll find out. All right,
no,
so
not you. I'm talking to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Why, these haters got to hate. Oh, they already watched it and they didn't like him.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna love him.
It was like a basic person
Got it.
describing something that
We're gonna love
found
him.
amazing.
Got it.
Yes. So I cannot wait for next week's Comedy Week. But right now, and the next week, Weekend at Bergman's, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna do like a little reshuffling of the schedule, I think, and so we will tell you what's coming next week on Weekend at Bergman's.
Okay.
But our 80s season will roll on,
Good.
and it's about to roll on in 5 minutes with maybe our biggest episode ever. Holy shit! Michael Mann's Thief versus Raiders of the Lost Ark coming back at you in 5 minutes. We'll see you there. Bye.